Well, Daron Payne dropped the receipts. We might be shipping Kliff Kingsbury off to the Giants. And there's another young commander getting their first chance this weekend. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, and we are here to discuss some of the latest news involving the Washington Commanders. That does include more roster moves, lots of signings, guys getting added to the practice squad, guys getting elevated, 21-day windows opening, a whole bunch of stuff there. We're going to talk about Daron Payne. How did his meeting with the league office go? And was he correct in saying that Amon-Ra punched him first? We're also going to talk about Kliff Kingsbury and then take a very quick look back at where my 5 names to remember series says the best and worst commanders have been this season. So guys, we're about to jump into all of that. Before we do, make sure you hit the like button. Also, new viewers, hit that subscribe button. Coming out with videos every single day. Link to join the Full Command Discord is at the top of the description. As always, if you guys join, you can be entered into monthly giveaways. Last month gave away a Super Bowl era Jaden Daniels jersey. All right, so this brings me back to the summer, when I started this channel and there was no football being played, we were just talking about the news. Brings me back. This entire year we've had, is Jaden going to play this weekend? What's up with Terry? Joe Witt's getting demoted. Are we going to make this trade? It's all been chaos, and it's nice to actually have some structure here. So let's run through the moves. So right now, Terry and Noah, that being Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown, are in Spain. They are doing some on-field work with the team. Neither one of them will be playing this weekend. That means when you consider the Luke McCaffrey injury, the Treylon Burks injury, we've got spaces at wide receiver. So Robbie Chosen has been activated off of the practice squad. Rather, he's been elevated off the practice squad. And so has Jacoby Jones. So he will be getting an opportunity to prove himself this weekend. Now, we all know who Chosen is. Don't need to talk about him. The question is, who is Jacoby Jones? Well, he's a 6'3" UDFA rookie receiver from the University of Central Florida. Did 2 years at Ohio. Shout out to the Maction the couple of years before that. 6 games at UCF last year. He had 22 catches for 327 yards and 2 touchdowns. That included 2 100-yard games, one of which was against then number 11 BYU. The team also signed defensive end DeMarcus Walker to the practice squad. There is a chance he plays this week. We will see how things go. He's a 31-year-old former second-round pick out of Florida State in 2017. He had 3.5 sacks each of the last 2 years with the Bears, had 7 sacks with the Titans in 2022. River Cracraft, you might remember, was with the Commanders earlier this season, has also been re-added to the practice squad. I want to say I saw him in a game with another team at some point in the season, but he is back on the P squad. The 21-day window has been open for Will Harris, meaning that he will return within the next 3 weeks. For an idea of how long Trey Amos is going to be out. By the way, Trey Amos was moved to the IR with the same broken fibula that Will Harris suffered. For an idea of how long Amos could be out, it'll be about 8 weeks for Harris to get back on the field. He suffered this injury in the Week 3 win against the Raiders. If we are going by that recovery timeline, and let's just be honest, Trey Amos is not coming back in 1 month, so Amos is out for the season. So Trey Amos, an impressive, solid rookie campaign. We will see you next season, son. Just a quick reminder, guys, the game this weekend is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We are playing in Madrid, so don't forget to set those alarms. If you're out on the West Coast, Mountain Time, anything like that, make sure that you're up in time to see the game. And to my viewers who live across the pond in Europe, I know we've got some of them. Congratulations, you get to watch the game at a normal time. Let's transition. Let's talk about Daron Payne. So Payne dropped a video on his Instagram where he showed proof that Amon-Ra St. Brown punched him a couple of plays before, which validated what Javon Kinlaw said. Kinlaw, after the game, the loss to the Lions, said that Amon-Ra had thrown the first punch, did it a couple of plays before, and, Payne proved that it did happen. So my initial thoughts on this, Amon-Ra is incredibly corny for retelling his version of the story without mentioning that he hit Payne. So here's exactly, this is the quote from Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, I think 2 plays before that, we got into a little scuffle, back and forth, whatever, this, that, and the other. And then we end up scoring, and I go up to him. I say a little something, nothing crazy, and then he decides to swing on me. So, I mean, it is what it is. Incredibly corny. Like, come on, dude. Now, I get he wouldn't invite a suspension upon himself, but don't just go up there and lie. And shout out to Payne. Shout out to Payne for at least dropping the receipts. Now, should Payne have punched him? Absolutely not. And this is my thing with Payne. If you are going to punch him, you do it right after he punches you. Amon-Ra punched you. You waited 2 plays for them to score and then for him to come talk crap up in your face, and then you punch him. That it doesn't make sense. It's a little soft, but I'm not mad at his Payne still shouldn't have done it. I'm not as disappointed though. And this is what I will say. Amon-Ra St. Brown needs to be suspended because while Payne was ejected from the game, he wasn't suspended on the spot, right? That was a decision that came from the NFL league office. And if we're just talking about the ejection, okay, the guy who retaliates is always the one who gets punished. You see it in every game across the NFL. The guy who commits the second act is the one who gets punished. The guy who commits the first act usually gets away scot-free. That's fine. It's annoying, but whatever. That's fine that Amon-Ra was not ejected from the game. The fact this decision came from the league office after they reviewed the video and they saw Payne punch Amon-Ra and they said, yep, we got to suspend him for that. Well, guess what? Now they have video of Amon-Ra punching Payne, and he did do it first. So if you want to talk about who was actually instigating it, that might not matter on the field in the moment, but now that we have removed ourselves and it's the NFL league office, you are seeing Amon-Ra do the exact same thing Payne did. The difference is he is the first one to do it. So if anything, it's a little more justified for Payne to respond after he has been punched. So I want to see the same action taken against Amon-Ra. Okay, let's just be fair here. Who are the Lions playing? The Lions got the Eagles. They got the Eagles on Sunday Night Football, primetime. I think it's in Philadelphia. If Amon-Ra is not suspended, does that tie into league ratings and stuff like that? Possibly. It's on the board. Now, I know you're thinking, hey, rules are rules, right? Well, why wouldn't they just enforce it? Well, the referees in this Commanders-Lions game admitted they did not follow the rules. Well, I shouldn't say they admitted it. This is according to reports. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk reported that sources with knowledge say the officials did not want to eject players from the Commanders on consecutive plays. That was tied to Javon Kinlaw making contact with the official, kind of flinging his arm out of the way. Should have been an ejection. It absolutely should have. But the refs looked at it and said, we don't want to eject 2 players on back-to-back plays. So now we're just picking and choosing where we enforce the rules. And again, whatever. I'll give a little bit of leniency to the referees. It's live action. You're trying to make a decision in the moment. Payne and Kinlaw ejecting defensive tackles, starting defensive tackles on back-to-back plays. Kinlaw, yes, by the book, he should have been ejected. I tweeted, I was surprised that he wasn't, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world he could have done, whatever. But that's the refs. That's live action. NFL league office, you're supposed to be, I don't want to say independent, but you are removed from the situation. You have time to review everything. Don't screw this up. If you don't suspend Amon-Ra, it's simply not fair. And it is what it is. And life's not fair. But hey, do the right thing. Talking about Kliff Kingsbury now. So, according to odds from DraftKings Sportsbook, this is not gambling advice, YouTube. According to odds from DraftKings Sportsbook, Kliff is 5th in odds to replace, Brian Daboll as the New York Giants head coach. His odds are 10-1 or plus 1,000. Mike McCarthy, yes, Mike McCarthy, formerly of the Packers and Cowboys, is the clubhouse leader at 7-1 or plus 700. After that, you've got Klint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks, Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, and Lou Anarumo, the Colts defensive coordinator. So McCarthy, Kubiak, Spagnuolo, and Anarumo. Again, nobody has odds shorter than 7-1. Kliff is at 10-1. So he is at firmly near the top of the board and in the mix to land that Giants job, according to the odds makers. Before I get out of here, guys, do just want to go over the 5 names to remember scoring update. You guys know that 5 names to remember is my series after every Commanders game with my reactions, and then I pick 5 players, coaches, GMs, referees, whoever that stood out for various reasons. We've been using the scoring system of dark green for a game ball, green for good, yellow for and then red for really bad. So I just very quickly came up with a scoring system. If you guys have a better idea for the scoring system, please drop it in the comment section below. Would love to take it on if anyone does have any better ideas. The way I've scored this is 3 points for a dark green, 1 for a green, -1 for a yellow, and -3 for a red. Again, if you've got a better idea, drop it down below. So my top 5 and my bottom 5 performers for the Commanders this season, according to the 5 Names to Remember series. Any guesses who the best player has been? The standout player. It's a guy who's not currently playing, and that doesn't say much because the Commanders are missing pretty much their entire roster. The number 1 performer, according to my grading from the 5 Names to Remember, is Dorrance Armstrong, who has 4 points. Bill Krosky-Merritt has 3. And if I remember correctly, I think he has a dark green, and that's it. But he does have 3 points. We've got Luke McCaffrey, also with 3, so tied with Bill for second. And I remember Luke had 3 straight weeks of greens. We've got Javon Kinlaw with 2. And we do have Daron Payne with 2. Payne was up on 5. He was the leader, and then he got a red after this last game, which dropped him 3 points down to 2. So him and Kinlaw, the starting defensive tackles, right next to each other, tied for 4th. But 2 guys tied at 4th obviously means they're 4th and 5th, and that rounds out the top 5. The bottom 5. I'll just start from the bottom. Joe Witt Jr. is at -10. After that, it's Dan Quinn at -8, tied with Marshawn Lattimore at -8. Then it's Kliff Kingsbury at -6, and Matt Gay at -3. In fact, why don't I pull up the full spreadsheet for you guys, just so that we can look at any other notable figures or anything like that. Give me 1 sec. You've got Connolly's got -1. You have Mariota's got 1. Jacob Martin's got 1. Quan Martin's got -1. Sainer still's got -1. Wagner's got -2. Treylon Burks has 1. I think that is everybody with points. Now, there are some people on 0 because they've had a yellow and a green. An example of that. Am I going to be able to do this on the fly? Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu has a green and he has a yellow, and that equaled him out at 0. At the end of the season, I'll go back. I will do a full rundown of every player, the top 5, the bottom 5, all that great stuff. But guys, that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, if you appreciate the daily uploads, make sure that you do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. Also, jump in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on anything that got brought up in this video. And make sure you do join the full Command Discord. Again, link at the top of the description. I'm going to head out of here. I appreciate y'all joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.